Practice is all wrapped up as we move into qualifying here at the Autodromo di Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Any moment now, the teams will be heading out onto the track. This has been an exciting track in times gone by, and typically it entertains the moment the lights go out.
We've seen in the past how tricky the first corner is. It's not an issue in practice and qualifying, but if you throw a lot of highly competitive drivers at it all at once, you've got an entirely different situation. The smarter drivers will be able to temper their approach and stay out of trouble, but it doesn't mean it's easy.
Excellent lap. We're really pleased.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Mr. Monaco, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You didn't spend much time practicing. Are you saving your car for the main event? It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. Appreciate your time.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
It's race day here in Italy once again. Monza, home to so many records. The smallest winning margin, for example. Do you remember in 1971, Peter Gethin beat Ronnie Peterson to the line by 1/100th of a second. There were 40 overtakes for the lead alone in 1965, and Kimi Raikkonen clocked a record top speed of 230 miles per hour here, just over a decade ago. So there's a lot to live up to then for all of our drivers today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let me ask you about the new Racing Point driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Albon, Gasly, Ricciardo and Daniel Kvyat, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Norris, Sainz, Kubica, Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll. Raikkonen and Nico Hülkenberg completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. been awarded a time penalty for that last incident. Well done, mate. Nice start. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. We've been awarded a time penalty that will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. This is your final lap of the race. You're pulling away by about half a second a lap. We've got an opportunity to look after the car here. Superb driving. That's the race win.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I think for Driver of the Day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You performed better than last weekend. What changed? Do you have any comments about the collisions? Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today? Appreciate your time.
Fantastic podium. Well done. Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season.